As we approach the peak of the Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander era, looking like it'll be a two-man MVP race again, with Luka Doncic a distant third, the current superstars taking over the league have remained the best players for years, some of whom we taken for granted. As for the aging, washed up past their prime big namers, guys like Klay Thompson and Bradley Beal, many can't wait till they officially retire after stinking for consecutive seasons. But a new wave of players, some vets who many thought were finished, have bounced back, rejuvenated their careers. Guys who were doubted, ignored, clowned on, and underestimated. These players deserve all the praise for flipping the switch, forcing the league to admit many were wrong about their impact. Starting with the one and only Dillon Brooks of the Phoenix Suns, the team finally has an identity again. All they had to do was buy out Bradley Beal. From being one of the most polarizing role players in the game, the unnecessary scapegoat for the 2023 Grizzlies, disrespected by Shams' tweet, NBA reporter Kevin O'Connell had his worst take all time. Dillon, the unofficial leader of the young arrogant Grizzlies, the antics were loud, but he did help the team win lots of games, stinked up the 2023 postseason. From talking smack about LeBron, Dillon's underwhelming performance, shot 24% from 3, left open and kept missing. That was the last time he didn't feel confident about his game. GM Zach Kleiman urged his small forward to shoot the ball only 6 times. Brooks became the NBA's punching bag for weeks. Even jokes of him going overseas, joining the Shanghai Sharks, stunned everybody. By signing 4 years $80 million with Houston, an excellent decision, creating a defensive identity with Ime Udoka. Across 2 seasons, he's averaged 13.4 points, started 147 contests, helped the team to the playoffs as a 2 seed, good enough to be traded for a Kevin Durant deal in a 7-team trade. We all thought he'd be irrelevant on the losing Suns, but think again. 1/3 into the season, team 4 games above 500. Many underestimated his ability, but even without the antics, Brooks a pretty good baller, highlighted by his 33-point masterpiece on Bronx Lakers, abusing the 40-year-old, made sure he got his revenge on the all-time great. With Devin Booker's injury, Brooks refused to let his team fall back, had the green light, hunted for mismatches, sucked the energy out of Crypto.com Arena, made LeBron quit on Coach JJ Redick's play, respectfully, even got a little tribute video on his return to Houston. Everybody realized Dillon Brooks been misunderstood. Now look at the pathetic Memphis Grizzlies, self-destructing with zero team identity. After Dillon's departure, it's been a fact that he's a dog in every franchise he's been a part of. Team first mentality gives everybody confidence. He made the Suns watchable, a combination of maturity and self-awareness, not surrounded by lunatics like Ja Morant. The now 29-year-old, averaging career highs in points, field goal percentage, and steals, uses his antics and trash talk to get riled up, and he's been backing it up with his performance. Installing toughness in Phoenix's culture, something not seen in the franchise since 2021. Colin Gillespie of the Phoenix Suns, the quiet Villanova standout, wasn't drafted. Being 24 years old, making his debut, many thought he'd just be another two-way guy who'll be released at any moment after a couple games, either go overseas or retire professionally altogether. But now his 3rd season, Gillespie's playing the best professional hoops of his career, averaging above 13 points, 14 a game, 43% from deep, annihilated the Lakers on all cylinders. Now an early candidate for most improved player. It's an absolute travesty. Mike Budenholzer buried him on the bench most of last season, refusing to give him a shot. His first contest suited up wasn't until game 42. Wasn't allowed to play more than 15 minutes until the 60th game of last season. Coach Bud deciding to play Tyus Jones over him. One of the worst coaching decisions all time. Gillespie's ability to shoot from deep, particularly off the dribble, a much needed skill for undersized guards. Signed for just 1 year, $2.3 million. His confidence there, the only true point guard on his team, way better than now washed up Bradley Beal. Has the footwork and control to potentially becoming a multiple year double-digit scorer. His production, more capable than all 30 teams could dream. Had the nasty game winner on Minnesota, reminding Suns fans of a former superstar. Gillespie won't be as good as the 2-time MVP Steve Nash. Even if he's 7% of Goran Dragic, that's an incredible accomplishment. Gillespie's production all along, just the dream Suns fans envisioned Tyus Jones to be all of last season. Michael Porter Jr., literally hurting Brooklyn's chances at a #1 pick at the peak of his unfiltered, unhinged green light to say whatever, shoot whenever. The 27-year-old showing flashes of what he could have became if it wasn't for those early injuries. We're talking about a guy who had Kevin Durant-like qualities back in high school, didn't need to do too much for Denver, never even averaged above 20 points a game each of his first 6 seasons, now putting up career highs 26, 7.5 boards, and over 3 assists. Many will say empty stats, but he's playing his best NBA basketball right now, maintaining the efficiency with some playmaking. That's the most shocking part. When many believe he's overpaid and washed due to limited movement, went through a shoulder injury last playoffs, the environment of unlimited shots and zero expectations suits his style perfectly. One of the most lethal catch and shoot guys, drills defenders off balance with his foot placement. All 6 of Brooklyn's wins have come from MPJ scoring at least 30 points. Coach Jody Fernando deserves tons of credit, giving Porter Jr. all the tools to excel with creativity and offensive flow. The extreme Jokic fans wanted everyone to believe all his former teammates are useless and irrelevant without him, but Michael Porter continues to prove many wrong, might just be cracking his prime, could still become 75% of the player he was projected to be before the back issues. Jaylen Brown, don't look now, everybody thought Boston's gonna tank, but on their way to having home court advantage come first round of the playoffs thanks to number 7. When he was considered number 2 to Tatum, some didn't believe JB was capable of leading a winning team. But not only is Brown playing some of his best ball of his career, the work ethic and leadership qualities, one of the highest, one of the best in the league, from getting called overpaid and overrated. The former 3rd overall pick continues to prove why he's the best and most successful player his 2016 draft class, excelling not only without Tatum, but also no Drew Holiday and Porzingis, averaging 29, 6, and 5. Why not put him in the MVP conversation, at least somewhere in the top 8? Could Brown's impact be the main factor while Nico Harrison decided to trade Luka, leveling up at every opportunity? The way Brown responds to challenges, more talented guys like Zion, John Morant, and Ben Simmons can learn a thing or two from JB's mindset. He's already an NBA champ, Finals MVP. If he retires today, clearly a Hall of Famer. The biggest compliment he will have, becoming an Eastern Conference All-Star starter. When Tatum comes back healthy, Boston will likely be contending for more titles. With another ring and Finals MVP, Jaylen Brown won't reach Kawhi Leonard talent-wise, ceiling peak for peak, but you could argue he might have the better overall career with one more ring, given the professionalism and availability. Austin Reaves of the Lakers, on his way to becoming a first-time All-Star, now 27 years old, making a huge name for being one of the greatest undrafted players all time, a perfect second option under Luka, much more polished offensively, not afraid of contact, gotten even stronger from the fourth quarter takeovers to game-winning shots. If the Luka trade didn't happen, the Arkansas native would easily be the best player on the Lakers, much more effective than current Anthony Davis, one of the best bargains. Anything not a max contract at this point would be an absolute travesty. Reaves works harder than most players, proudly representing an all-time franchise. Many Laker fans wanted him gone after the Minnesota series last season, believing he wasn't a top 3 guy on a winning team. And now, of course, no more trade rumors. Posting superstar numbers, always having an insane touch around the rim and a lethal mid-range pull-up, the scoring and efficiency, playing on one of the best teams outside of OKC, makes him the clear-cut second option on the Lakers above LeBron. Nobody expected this type of production from AR-15, given all the lottery picks over the last decade, guys who were supposed to develop and grow as longtime Lakers. Austin Reaves, the purest of them all, many want him to be a Laker for life now. Steven Adams of the Houston Rockets, one of the best bargains in the association, 32 years old, continues to show why he's the strongest player in the league. Many thought he'd be out the NBA after 2023's knee injury with Memphis. Most didn't anticipate how much Memphis missed his offensive rebounding and hard screen setting. A team's major loss is another one's gain. one of the best bench guys, setting records, becoming the first Rocket since Chuck to grab 30+ offensive boards first 6 games into the season, averaging above 9 rebounds a game just under 22 minutes, the best at securing the ball after a teammate's intentional missed free throw. Adams' presence and strength makes the Rockets a naturally tougher team. Rockets #1 in rebounding, especially on the offensive glass. Imagine how many boards he would have secured if Russ wasn't chasing them triple-doubles with OKC, living up to every bit of his 3 years $39 million contract. Jerami Grant of the Portland Trail Blazers, now 31 years old, definitely not the worst contract in the league anymore. After last season's averages of 14.4 points, disgusting 37% shooting, to having a bounce back season, numbers of 19.5 points, coming off the bench for half his games, everybody knows his contract's untradeable, but remains a pro, gives high effort, and proving to be a good vet on a young rebuilding team. If his contract was $8 to $10 million less, would easily be tradable, owed nearly $71 million for the next 2 seasons after this one. Blazers finding themselves in a tough spot. When most guys his age on a heavy contract, they get called out, nobody wants them, gets waived, signed for the minimum on another team, then forced to retire. Guys like Bradley Beal and Klay Thompson might just get bullied out the league. But Jerami Grant himself will be remembered getting one of the best contracts for a zero-time All-Star. Ryan Rollins of the Milwaukee Bucks, 23 years old, second-round pick 3 years ago, one of the rare bright spots for the discombobulated franchise. Team's second leading scorer behind Giannis. Signed a multi-year deal, 3 years, $12 million total. Will likely reject his player option for 2028. The type of player who should be the candidates for most improved. One of the former breakout players Washington got rid of, started his career in Golden State, then sent to DC with Jordan Poole, never even managed to crack the rotation for the Wizards and waived after just 10 games. Rollins already surpassing expectations and more, a name nobody knew 2 weeks ago. Alex Sarr of the Washington Wizards, the second pick from the underwhelming 2024 class, having a terrific second season, trending towards the upward direction, posting numbers of 19.1 points, 8.5 rebounds. The Frenchman, one of the few positives. After many remember him going 0-15 Summer League for 0 points, the bust label came recklessly, especially for Gilbert Loudmouth Arenas, disrespectfully drawing Sarr's name in comparison with the inferior Bronny James. The 7-foot stretch big came a long way since, putting together all his tools, massive efficiency improvement, especially from inside the paint, while maintaining elite rim protection. On the bright side of hope, Sarr's proven to be the Wizards' best big man since Chris Webber of the late 90s, the number 2 option going forward. His ceiling, likely the second guy on a good team, whether it's with the Wizards by next decade or elsewhere, could become a hybrid of Jared Jackson Jr. and Evan Mobley. Reed Sheppard of the Houston Rockets. With Fred VanVleet out for the season, the number 3 pick responded tremendously. Many thought he was too small, much of a defensive liability, but shooting lights out from deep, connecting on nearly 45% from deep, 13 points a game off the bench, proving his efficiency on a contender. There's a reason he was drafted so high due to his scoring and shooting. Unfairly got criticized when he wasn't given much of a chance last season. Even dating to 6 weeks ago, opening night, got destroyed by OKC on defense. Many Houston fans wanted him out the rotation. Now he's looking like one of the best second-year guys. Been active on both ends, leading the league in most deflections per 36 minutes. Denny Avdija of the Portland Trail Blazers, inserting himself as the third best player in his 2020 class, behind Ant Edwards and Tyrese Halliburton. The Israeli native, 100% better than LaMelo Ball, averaging 27, 7, and 6, plays with poise, maturity, and composure, looks like a 10-year vet out there. If he was still in a Wizards uniform, would be in the discussion for best small forward in the East. The type of guy who was too good to be on a tanking team, but not seen as a number 1 option, has one of the best contracts, only the second year of his 4-year, $55 million, lethal in transition. Given the Blazers have no shooters, his assist number's not as high as it should. A very high chance he'll become a first-time All-Star in a couple months. The Blazers finally functional for the first time since 2021. The Washington Wizards organization should be ashamed of themselves. Norman Powell of the Miami Heat, another strong candidate as a likely first-time All-Star, playing his best hoops at 32 years old, still shooting 50% from the field, about 44 from 3. The Clippers front office crying to bed every night, trading him for the inferior John Collins and thinking Bradley Beal could be a replacement. Beal's not even half a bootleg version of Powell. Has the perfect attitude for Heat culture. Miami likely not contending for a championship anytime soon, but Powell's services always appreciated. Team still one of the dark horses as a potential first round upset. The Clippers would easily be around 500 right now if Norman's still on their team. That's 25 points a night missing. LAC's terrible front office decisions started with Kawhi Leonard. Listening to him gave up all their picks for overrated Paul George. The Clippers still had a small window in contention after trading washed-up Robert Covington, Eric Bledsoe, and Justice Winslow for Norman when he was on the Blazers. Many believed Powell would look like an average player without James Harden, but with or without the beard, his work ethic continues to make him better. Powell's also the reason why Pat Riley not getting criticized as being a washed-up team president. Norman's impact and shot making would be a huge asset for any contender. Last but not least, Dennis Jenkins, out of St. John's University and Iona College, coached by legendary Rick Pitino, excelling off the bench, averaging above 8 points in 18 minutes, can shoot from range, has the quickness to put the ball on the floor and get around defenders, was even nominated for Player of the Week just 3 weeks ago. One of the best breakout stories from being undrafted, now 24 years old. Many St. John's fans absolutely not surprised how well he's balling. The best two-way bargain in the league. Honorable mentions: AJ Mitchell, regretfully passed up by the Knicks for Tyler Kolek, breaking out for OKC, still averaging above 14 points a game. The best teams just get better. At the end of the day, this season continues to remind everyone certain players can never be counted out. Some vets rebuild their value, some save their careers, and some straight up unlock new ceilings for their teams nobody thought possible.